Okay, now this is a writing lesson. You've done math, and you're also now going to do writing. Yeah, show me writing. I have to write now. So today's writing, you're actually going to use a pencil. I actually used a black, what is this called? It's not a dry erase marker. It's a colored pencil. It's a colored pencil. I'm using the black colored pencil because it's going to be darker so you can see it well. You'll probably use a pencil. If you have a black colored pencil and you want to use it, that'd be great. Maybe I can see it better. We're looking for high quality pictures that you submit to me. In a week or so when I see you, I'm going to send you home a folder and you can actually put your pieces of paper of the things that you wrote in your folder. But right now I'm reliant on your pictures. So take some good pictures. Okay, here's mine. Now, we talked this week in writing about writer's notebooks. We're going to do writer's workshops. Super cool. Workshops is when we build things. Writer's workshops, writers, workshops. And we talked about how we're going to make notebooks. In writer's workshop, we make notebooks. We do. We totally make notebooks. And so in our notebooks, we're going to do a couple things. It said we always do a date. Number one is a date. So I wrote the date on mine. I wrote the date that you're writing, which is on Friday, 9/10/2021. So I put my date. So always start with your date at the top of your lined paper so that you know what date you wrote your writing on. That'll be super important, don't you think? Yeah. So check it off if you got the date. You can rewind this video many times to remember, number one, the date. Now, then I get started on my writing. And I wrote a whole thing. You wrote down your ideas. We talked in our writer's workshop this week about how we're not going to get stuck in the mud. We talked about how we want to get unstuck. And we did a little graphic organizer with the bubbles where we thought of ideas. We thought of a lot of ideas of things we want to write about. Memories we have of people, special people in our lives. So pull that out. Some of you printed it and put it into your writer's notebook. You can pull that out now and see what else did you write about. You wrote about some stuff that first day in writer's workshop. Now you can write about another thing. Pull it out and see what else you wrote. Some of you may have just written it and posted it on Seesaw. Go find it. Figure out what was your other memory of somebody that you love, that you had a cool memory of doing something really awesome with. Mine was about my sister. I don't know if you remember that. Mine were about my sister. So this time I put the new memory of my sister and I. So here is my writing that I did. I have my date. Oops, sorry. I have my date right here. And then I started writing. My sister and I went intertubing on the Willamette. I capitalized that because it's a river. Willamette River 5 years ago. I put the time of when it happened. We went with all 8 of our kids. Mom, and Dad. So this was my whole sentence. We went with all 8 of our kids, comma, my mom and my dad. So that makes sense. There were 12 of us on my dad's boat. I have an exclamation mark there. He has a big boat. The best part of the day was when just my sister and I tubed while my dad drove the boat through the glassy river water. Did you see what I did there? I used a really cool describing word, glassy. It's like an adjective, a really cool glassy river water. So feel free to add some really juicy words. Maybe some of the words that we've done from Poppy. You could add those. Our kids were smiling, and it was just Sis and I on the river. I changed her name, so that's kind of like my pronoun. So I started with my sister and I, and then I did we. That's a pronoun for my sister and I. And then I changed it down here and just said sis. That's another pronoun. It was like we were kids again, experiencing the world together. Now, and I know I'm kind of a writer. Mrs. Rogers likes to write, so I wrote a lot of things. These are examples. I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. I did. So you can write as much as you want about your memory. We laughed and grinned and we watched the green trees. Notice how I didn't just say trees, I said the green trees. I was describing them. The green trees, and pointed out the waterfront houses we loved to each other because we like houses. Our dad was still alive then. So right now I'm being a little bit more vulnerable. Sometimes you open up your heart in your writing. So I'm opening up my heart a little bit in my writing, and I'm mentioning that our dad was still alive because he's not alive. My dad died, and it's super sad. I miss him all the time. But back then he was alive. So here it is. My dad was still alive then, and he was so happy to have all of us together. His kids, his 8 grandkids, and his daughters. I love my sister. She is my, I'm sorry to do a conclusion. So great stories start with a date, and then they have an introduction, and then they got the body, and then they have the conclusion. So now I'm starting the conclusion. Again, you can rewind this as many times as you want to get an idea. I love my sister. She is my soulmate and my friend. I'm so glad we got to have that day together in the sun, on the river, with our kids, laughing together. The end. That's it. So that's how you would do a notebook, a writer's notebook entry. So I want you to think about your writer's notebook and what you want to write in your writer's notebook. And think of your heart of who you want to have a memory of and what you guys did together, and write it all down. I gave you an example of 4 paragraphs. So you don't want to just have one sentence. That's not going to be a very strong writer's notebook. That's like a 1. It's a try again. It's like 2nd grade, 1st grade. So you want to move forward. You want to write paragraphs. You want to be able to write lots of words using describing words. Use beautiful vocabulary from Poppy. So think about some really beautiful words. I only used a few describing words in mine. I could redo this and write way more describing words. So go ahead. That's your project today, is to write a writer's notebook without me in class. You just got me one-on-one. You just got me by yourself, just you and me. Mwah. You can watch this over and over again to make it as slow as you want. Take your time. You have a long time today. It's Friday, so you have a long time today to work. And I want you to write a writer's notebook. So write your writer's notebook with the date, and then I want you to take a really good picture, not a blurry picture. Take a really good picture and put it up for me. I want to have you submit it so I can see it. I want to see your writer's notebook. You can just put this one on Seesaw, it's fine, because I might share this on the blog so that you guys can all see it. That's it. Have fun, have a great day. Have fun writing about your story and open your heart. It's fine, it's beautiful. I love it. I love your heart, I love your ideas, I love your memories. Happy Friday.